Welcome to Scrum Masters Elite_UK. If you enjoy in-depth sports analysis, be sure to subscribe and join us on this journey.
The news that Rieko Ioane has been recalled to the All Blacks squad ahead of the crucial match against Ireland gave me a lot to think about. What impressed me wasn't simply the story of one player returning to the national team, but rather the way a world-class organization like the All Blacks consistently operates through fair competition, professionalism, and the ability to adapt to unexpected circumstances. From my perspective, Rieko Ioane's return is far more than just an injury replacement. It demonstrates that in elite sport, no player is ever truly forgotten as long as they continue to maintain their ability, commitment, and readiness whenever the team needs them. Earlier, many people were surprised when his name was left off the original squad. A player with nearly 90 international caps, extensive experience on the world stage, and the versatility to perform in multiple positions found himself on the outside looking in. That alone shows that even the most accomplished stars are never guaranteed a place in the lineup. Past achievements deserve respect, but opportunities in the present must still be earned through current form and relentless hard work.
I was particularly impressed by the way the coaching staff handled the situation. When Leroy suffered an injury and a vacancy opened up in the squad, they remained calm and quickly turned to an option they had clearly considered in advance. This reflects careful planning and long-term vision from the coaching team. A truly strong national side isn't defined only by the 15 or 23 players on match day, but also by the depth of its squad and its ability to call upon quality replacements whenever circumstances change. This situation also reinforces my understanding that injuries are an unavoidable part of professional sport. Both Leroy and Fiafini Anganofo undoubtedly wanted nothing more than to contribute. But injuries forced their plans to change. That is deeply unfortunate, because behind every match are thousands of hours of training, countless sacrifices, and unwavering determination. No athlete wants to leave the field in pain or miss the opportunity to compete in major international fixtures. For that reason, rather than focusing solely on who has been called up as a replacement, I believe fans should also show empathy and support for the players who are currently recovering from injury.
For Rieko Ioane, this return also comes with considerable pressure. Whenever a player is called into the squad as a replacement, expectations naturally follow. Supporters will be eager to see whether he can justify the coaching staff's decision. Yet these are precisely the moments that reveal the character of an experienced international player. Instead of complaining about being omitted from the original squad, Ioane continued preparing himself so that when the opportunity finally arrived, he was ready to answer the call immediately. In my opinion, that is an attitude worthy of admiration. What leaves me feeling most positive is the competitive culture that head coach Rennie has repeatedly emphasized. He has not promised a starting position to anyone, nor has he made decisions based on reputation alone. Instead, he has acknowledged that some players will unfortunately miss out despite performing well because competition for places within the squad is incredibly fierce. At first glance, that may seem harsh, but it is exactly this kind of environment that forms the foundation of the world's strongest teams. When every position must be earned, every player is motivated to keep improving rather than becoming complacent. I also appreciate the fairness in the way the coaching staff selects players. Athletes such as Luke Jacobson and Patrick Tuipulotu have been given opportunities to return once they recovered well. On the other hand, Scott Barrett's situation shows that the coaching staff is not willing to gamble with a player's health simply because important matches are approaching. Although he is an experienced leader and an important member of the team, not being fully fit means there is no attempt to rush his recovery. In my opinion, this decision reflects a strong sense of responsibility for the player's long-term career rather than focusing only on immediate results.
In addition, the decision to have Fabian Holland regain match fitness through domestic competition before considering his return to the national team also reflects a highly professional process. Instead of throwing a recently recovered player straight into high-intensity international matches, the coaching staff has chosen a more gradual approach that allows him to rebuild his form step by step. This demonstrates that modern sport relies not only on talent but also on science, workload management, and long-term planning. Looking at the bigger picture, I realize that this story is not only about rugby or the All Blacks. It also offers valuable lessons that can be applied to many aspects of life. There are times when we fail to achieve what we hope for, or even miss opportunities that seemed within reach. That can be disappointing. However, if we continue learning, improving, and refuse to give up, new opportunities may arise when we least expect them. The important question is whether we will be prepared to seize those opportunities when they come. For me personally, the biggest lesson is that success should never be judged by a single moment. Being left out of the initial squad does not mean the door is permanently closed. Likewise, being selected today does not guarantee a place in the future. Every day is another opportunity to prove ourselves. This mindset reminds me that perseverance and constant preparation are far more important than temporary disappointment.
From a fan's perspective, I believe this story also carries many positive messages. We often focus only on the players who score points or the biggest stars on the field. However, behind every successful team are reserve players who train seriously every day, even though they may never be guaranteed playing time. When injuries occur or key players are unavailable, those who have quietly prepared themselves often become crucial contributors. For that reason, fans should appreciate the value of the entire squad rather than concentrating only on a few individuals. I also believe that supporters should remain calm when reacting to the coaching staff's selection decisions. In football, rugby, or any other sport, team selection is based on many factors, including current form, tactical requirements, physical condition, and the ability to adapt to specific opponents. The most famous player is not always the best choice for every situation. Respecting professional decisions and waiting to see the team's actual performance can help create a more positive and constructive sporting environment. For the wider community, I think this is an excellent example of healthy competition. Competition does not mean putting others down in order to stand out. True competition means that everyone strives to improve themselves, making the entire team stronger as a result. When everyone works hard to develop, the overall quality of the team improves, and ultimately the greatest beneficiary is the sport itself.
Another point that made me reflect is the way players accept the changes that occur throughout their careers. Some are given opportunities, some must wait patiently, while others are forced to stay on the sidelines because of injury. These are very different situations, yet all require professionalism. No one can completely control everything that happens in life, but everyone can control their attitude, determination, and response to adversity. The upcoming match against Ireland will undoubtedly attract a great deal of attention. However, regardless of the final result, I believe the most memorable aspect of this story is the team's preparation. A truly strong team is not one that only knows how to win when everything goes according to plan, but one that can adapt and remain competitive despite injuries and setbacks. That ability to overcome challenges is what truly defines the world's best teams. In conclusion, I feel that the story of Rieko Ioane and the All Blacks is much more than a report about a squad change ahead of an international match. It is a lesson in perseverance, professionalism, fairness in competition, and the importance of always being ready to seize opportunities. I believe these values extend far beyond sport and can inspire anyone who is pursuing their own goals. By maintaining a willingness to learn, continuously improving ourselves, and staying prepared for every opportunity, each of us can make meaningful progress on our own journey. That is the lesson I will remember after reading this story, and it is also the positive message that I believe fans and the wider community can share together.
Thank you for supporting Scrum Masters Elite_UK. See you in the next video. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss our latest in-depth sports analysis.